Okay, everyone, deep cleansing breaths.
Wasting everybody's damn time.
We are here. And now that we have bitched for 5 minutes about what just happened, I think we're ready. I think we're good. I think we're cleansed. Okay. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. We got here in the end. I'm going to save all of these as bloopers. These are going to all go up as bloopers.
You know, I think I'm definitely going into my Instagram archive to get that last one because I was just, riffing, but without you there by myself. And then this first one, this was great. We've got clips for days. I'm good. You know what?
Yeah, we've got so much material. We don't need to.
You know what? Just go to bed. I'll see you next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Awesome. Right. See you, folks.
Let's not screw it up. Let's just let it be.
Let's not poke the bear anymore.
While we're ahead, maybe.
Let's not test. Yeah, maybe we'll quit while we're ahead. I think. Right. Sorry.
I think we can do better.
ADHD. Yeah, the ADHD in me is just like, right.
It's okay.
Let's do it.
Well, I think maybe Instagram knew how much I was looking forward to talking to you, and that's why it was being such an ass. Because
that I would like to put that into the universe and say that was the reason, and it wasn't my fault at all. It was nothing to do with me or my lack of technical.
To be fair, it does happen to me every single time. Now, usually when I back out and then go back in, eventually I will get my guest. But yeah. So
the whole reason. So you had mentioned to me before that TikTok and Instagram, as far as options, the whole reason I decided Instagram would be the better choice was because the website will actually take access of my microphone and my good mic and good camera, as opposed to having to use the phone.
Yeah.
But Instagram had different plans, so
yeah, that's okay. You know what? You sound great. You look great. We're good. We're good.
As long as you can hear me, I am fucking absolutely happy.
We are so good. We are
I'm gonna try not. I'm gonna try not swear like a sailor as well. With when
I don't care.
Answers. I'm gonna try my best. Yeah, I think TikTok does though.
Yeah, they'll get over it. Okay, so I think we should probably start. Yeah, exactly. Amber's like, "Yay, we're good to go," and then Dave's just like,
yeah, and just dips out. Yeah, absolutely. That was my fault. I'll take full accountability for that one.
It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, great bloopers. Great bloopers. So I did listen to a couple of your books. I have been doing a little research. So you do have about 10 titles on Audible that I could see. Is that about right?
There's about 10 or 12 on Audible. There's a bunch more. I think as far as titles go, when I went into the romance world, I've about 20. I think I've around 20 titles in terms of like the romance world.
Awesome.
But I only came into the audiobook world like I want to say 4 years ago, and I was busy. I was working full time in another job, so I was I didn't sink my teeth into it straight away. So,
So are you doing this full time now?
Yes, yeah. No, thankfully I'm able to do it full time. I've been doing it full time. So I was doing camera work as well. So I started off in camera work for quite some time. I was doing that for years before I discovered voiceover. And then from voiceover, I started in video games and animation. And I discovered the audiobook world. Once that door opened, I saw like the sheer amount of potential, the size of the community. Obviously how amazing the community was to begin with. The space was fantastic. And immediately I was like, okay, instead of doing a job once every few weeks or something like that and being quiet for the rest of it with video games and animation, I found myself so busy. I just found myself so busy with everything. And I was like, this is where I need to be. I fell in love with the audiobook space. Just the people, the authors, the narrators, the influencers, everything else, they kind of welcomed me in with open arms. So thankfully I've been busy enough that I have been doing this full time for quite a while now. So Yeah,
That's
I'm
great.
hoping to not go anywhere.
Yeah.
here's, here's hoping.
No, we're not.
Here's
You're
hoping.
not going anywhere. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, here's
So
hoping.
unless you keep messing up live streams, then you might have a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest challenge right now, if I was to say in terms of a weakness, it would be social media. Just and it's not like I'm a techie at heart, so like I can pull a computer apart and put it back
That's
together
not.
again.
Yeah.
But the social media side of things, it's not even a laziness thing. It's literally like, oh, I have to.
You have
It's like,
to.
oh, do I have to do this? So yeah, I've discovered early on. I've discovered early on that yes, you do have to. So I'm
Yeah,
getting
and I
better.
think,
I'm getting better
like
at
you
the social
said,
media.
the good thing is that this community, for the most part, is pretty
Oh yeah,
welcoming and pretty
yeah.
forgiving of everyone. Oh my God! If you guys don't stop with the top, Kim, I'm gonna kill you. Oh my God! So I have to tell you that story. You were actually, I think you were
Okay.
actually in that live for a little bit the other night when I was on with Kim.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, I was on the top and she was on the bottom. So now she's bottom
I
Kim and
remember.
I'm
Yeah, I
top
remember.
Kim forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
It's never going
Okay.
away. It's never going away. It has
You've been
stuck.
crowned.
I have been through 3 lives and someone has said it every time since then. So, yes, I do love
Yeah,
you. I do love you, but
yeah,
yeah, I cannot
yeah.
believe that's stuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to murder Graham. That's what's going to happen. But
Listen,
anyway,
there's lives I go into. There's lives I go into with narrators and others, and I just get bullied. As soon like there's one or two people, as soon as they see me, they just like, DB, what are you doing here? Leave. I'm like, I just got here, and I
lived
just
with
like
love is what I say. You know, it's all
It
love,
is.
but
It is.
still, yeah.
They know.
Come on, Lucas.
They know the Irish.
Not
You
you
can
too.
stop.
All
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna remember that, Mister Box Fan, in your booth. I'm gonna remember that. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing with you guys, and we're gonna talk to this guy. Okay. Um, so you are doing this full time. So what is your like daily ritual? Like what do you do on a daily basis? Like when you get up in the morning and get started?
Well, I'm quite the night owl. So most of the time, if I'm doing any work, if I'm recording a title, if I'm in the booth, I've often been in the booth till 3 a.m. Some nights just working, and then like I tend to sleep a little bit later in the mornings because of it. My entire sleep schedule is like not normal. It's like go to bed 3-4 a.m. and then like waking up at like fucking 11 or something. Like
Yeah.
my brain is just, my whole body is just like, dear God, man, what are you doing? So I
So
haven't
that's
learned.
why
I've
when
been
I said,
doing it.
"What time do you want to go live?" and you're like, "Ah, it's fine, whatever."
Yeah, literally. Yeah. It's like me with my cup of coffee. Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, whatever time you want. Yeah, whatever. I thankfully I'm currently on tea. I'm having an Assam black Indian tea at the moment, which is going to be good for me because
Good.
I was sick for I was like sick for a little over 2 weeks. And I couldn't. I was delayed. I was like the current title that I need to finish, and I start a duet novella very soon now as well. I'm supposed to start that in the next 2-3 days. So I
Oh
need to
my
get that done.
gosh.
But yeah, I think
Yeah.
any narrators in the chat can attest. Like as narrators, when we get sick, it's over. Once we
Yeah.
get sick, you cannot do
And you can't
anything
push
at
it.
all.
Like you have to just let
No,
it
you
run
can't.
its course. Yeah.
No,
It's
I
gonna be even longer.
lost my voice I completely lost my voice for about 2 days. Meaning if I tried to speak, nothing came out. It was just air. So the voice was completely gone. That only happened once before, back in 2020 when I first got COVID. Back when that was all going on. That was the only other time I've ever lost my voice for 2 days, 3 days. But yeah, so yeah, I was I'm pretty much just in and out of fevers for the last 2 weeks. Is great.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. That does make everything way more difficult. So
Hey, look, we're alive.
you're still here,
We're still,
and yeah, that's
we're
good.
alive.
We're live. So you said you did some camera work before, and
Mhm.
so what was your career before you started doing this?
Well, most of the camera work I did. So normally I would write and shoot short films, that kind of thing, and that's kind
Okay.
of how I went in and started doing camera work. I started with extras work, and I moved up into the likes of featured roles and then stuff with lines. And as I started to get kind of familiar with different crews, they kept recognizing me for working, being on sets all the time. And one of the things about the industry is, I said this to a good friend of mine who started acting there very in the last 2-3 years. I met him on a set about 2 years ago, and he's been acting since. I pulled away from camera and I kind of pushed him and told him, as far as the industry goes, turn up on time, be easy to work with. They're the only two things. As far as that industry goes, you're on set from 6 a.m. every morning and you won't be leaving till 5 or 6 that evening. And that's an everyday thing. They're long days, don't get me wrong. They feed you and like they look after you and everything. They do care. But it was kind of, I just said to him, I said, turn up on time and be easy to work with. They'll remember you and they'll put you forward for bigger and bigger roles because you've developed that relationship. So that's where I started writing and shooting short films. Went into extras work, moved all the way up to featured roles and speaking roles. I made a film 2 years ago, which is where I met my friend Dom. I met him on the set. It was his very first gig ever. He had never done any extras work. He had never done anything in terms of acting. He just wanted to try it out. And it was a film that we made called Blue Moon. It was shot here in Ireland. Most of it was shot on a stage, on a set, in a diner known as Sardi's, which is based on a real place in New York. It's a restaurant bar. And the film we made was with Ethan Hawke. And I walked in on the first day. The gig that I was booked for, I was essentially Ethan Hawke's body double. So I was his clone. I was dressed up the same way as him. I had a hairpiece and everything with a comb over. No beard, completely clean shaven, no beard at all. Makeup, tanned makeup and everything. It was a really, really great experience because we shot it for about 6 weeks. And some of the shots in the film are me because he's taller. And the character that he played in this movie, Lorenz Hart, he was a famous musician from the 50s and 60s. He was really small in stature. So he was about 5'4". He's about my height. He's about 5'4". And Ethan is he's easily 5'8", 5'9", And they couldn't fake. A lot of the camera work with wide angles, they couldn't fake the height because he had to be walking in scenes and everything. So they used me for those scenes. I would have to watch what he does, match his beats, match what he picks up or what he does, match the way he moves with the camera in order for it to be consistent and not stand out, when it comes to cutting it together. But it was an amazing experience. I couldn't. Wow. It's been the highlight, even though I love the audiobook space and I've had great success working with fantastic people. That has been the highlight of my career so far. I mean, fair. I sat with him. Yeah. I got to sit with him every day for about 6 weeks. And he's such a normal guy. He's so humble. I mean, at one stage he sat down beside me after he did about 6 or 7 takes of a scene. And they were doing a changeover, which is where they move the lights, move the camera, and they're setting up another shot. And he came and sat beside me, and he tapped me on the knee as he sat beside me, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "What did you think of He's like, "What do you think of that scene? When I walk away from the bar and I grab, what do you think? Do you think I should?" And he was asking me for my opinion on it, and I think it's right, or do you think you should try something else? And I'm sitting here like this, I'm an actor and I can talk about it all day, but you're Ethan fucking Hawke. Yeah, right. I'm I'm nobody. Why are you asking me? I'm fucking nobody. But incredible experience. I got pictures with him. We took a massive picture on the last day with all the cast and crew. It was Ethan Hawke, Margaret Qualley, Simon Delaney, Andrew Scott, couple of other good names. The director is Richard Linklater. He's responsible for so many amazing films. School of Rock. Yeah. He's fucking Twister, everything. Yeah. But, it was just one of those experiences. At the end, we took a massive picture, a wide shot from up the stairs, but with the set photographer, and everybody's in it. Everybody, all the cast, all the crew, the lighting guys, the grips, everybody's in it. And it was probably the best experience I've had in the industry so far. Yeah. So far.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, that's amazing. That's really, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, just being in that space and getting to be around someone who is
Oh
just
yeah.
so down to earth and easy to
Yeah.
talk to, that just makes
Yeah.
it,
Just creatively, like the most important thing for us as actors, like whether you're a writer or an actor or a musician, you'd be very surprised the effect that collaboration has on you. It can give you your spark back. It can light a fire under your ass. It really can.
yeah,
Like it changed my entire mindset on my life, just what I could achieve if I put my mind to it, what I could actually achieve. It changed everything. It really did.
yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. That is, that is a huge deal. Whenever you find somebody who loves something as much
Yeah.
as you do and you get to do something together with that person,
Oh yeah.
it changes
Just
everything.
immediately, just
Yeah.
that click, like that seamless click with people immediately. I just like, yeah, he because as I said, like I'm quite a chatty Cathy, but he's also in the same way. He's pretty chatty and he's pretty humble and down to earth. So
Hmm.
he's just sit beside you and he talks about everything.
Hmm.
You know, he
Yeah.
talks about everything, not even just the business or the movies. Just
Yeah.
he's a person at the end of the day, and that's the best thing about him.
Yeah, I
You know.
love that. And that's kind of the way I feel about, but when I get to do this is, as I get to talk with people who enjoy something as much as I do, and also they are creating something. And so it's just so nice to have that in common with people. I mean, I know you're,
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
yeah, there's very few
It's
places in the world where you can go like this. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, it's kind of it really makes it because obviously as narrators, we sit in a box, we sit in a booth talking to ourselves for hours.
yeah.
So when we get to collaborate with people and you have that back and forth and that creative energy, that
Mhm.
back and forth bouncing off each other, it's great. And it
Yeah.
really does kind of re-energize you as well, especially because we can get burned out as creatives. You can get burned out rather quickly. If you will, if you just kind of keep drilling yourself into the ground, you can get
Absolutely.
burned out so quickly. And the only thing that'll bring you back from that is the reminder of why you started. Of why you love what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree. And that's what I mean. I work all day in healthcare and I sit in a dark room all day and,
Mhm.
I don't talk to really anybody. And so,
Yeah.
it's that same thing. It's like I get to come home and I get to actually talk to people and talk about things that I actually like. And,
Exactly. When
Yeah.
you're coming home and you're scratching an itch that you don't get to do all day because you're sitting in a dark room.
Exactly.
So when you get to come home now, see, I said to people before, and it's usually people that want to chase after some kind of dream, if there's something they want to do, but the full-time job, the day job is like tying them down. I like to say to people, listen, in the world of social media, doom scrolling, your Netflix, it's instant dopamine and it's so easy to get bogged down in it, like video games and everything else. And that's coming from a gamer. But when you come home from working for someone else for 8 hours, do yourself a favor. Your future self will thank you. Come home and work on yourself. If there's
Mhm.
something you want to achieve, you've spent 8 hours building someone else's dream. You know what I mean? You've
Mhm.
spent 8 hours going out of your way for other people. And the problem with most day jobs is you're just a number. At the end of the day, you're a number.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what you do, thing is, if you left that job tomorrow, for whatever reason, your job would be replaced in 2-3 days.
100%.
Your position is gone.
Yep.
So you kind of have to. I always say prioritize. Like look out for number one. Prioritize
Mhm.
yourself, because the truth is, everybody has so much going on in their own lives. Nobody is as concerned with you as you think they are.
Yeah.
Everybody is focused on their own life. They all have their own stuff to deal with.
As they should be. Yes.
Don't let ego get in the way. Don't be worrying about what people are thinking about. What people will think this, people will think that. You can't please everybody. Go and do what it is you want to do, and do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else.
Mhm.
Do it for you. If it's what you want, the best time to start was yesterday.
Yep.
You know?
I completely agree. I mean, that's why I'm here. Like literally why I started this 2 months ago. Period. I mean, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 months ago, look where you are. Look at the growth.
I'm trying.
Look at the
I'm
growth.
trying. I'm trying.
And it shows. And it shows. I've said this to people before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is you do, whether you're a musician, an actor, a writer, a fitness coach. It doesn't matter. You get out what you put in to anything.
Yeah.
It does not matter what it is.
Absolutely.
You get out what you put in. So if you kind of him and haw and you're like on the fence about whether to, oh, I'll do a little bit today. Oh, I'll do more of it in a week. No, that won't get you anywhere. The number one thing that will get you places is it's not even hard work. Hard work is part of it. Consistency.
Yeah. And just
being able to get up.
And just doing it, like you said.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, am I the kind of person who would ever just DM people out of nowhere for anything ever before? Absolutely not. But have I done that more in the past 2 months than I've ever done in my entire life? You bet your ass I have. And you know what?
100%. 100%.
That's what you got to do. And what's the worst that can happen?
See, exactly. What's the worst thing that can happen? The thing is, right, it's not going to be handed to you. Mm-mm. The truth is, it's not going to land on your lap. No. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to go after it. You have to put yourself out there. I have often, and I am the worst person for this, which is why I don't do it anymore, and I can speak on it. Years ago when I first started getting into camera acting and everything, the worst thing I ever did, and it made me learn a lot of lessons, I used to see, I get invited to do self-tape auditions for different, a TV show or whatever, a commercial ad. And I would spend a decent amount of time setting everything up, setting the camera up, getting a good microphone, getting the positioning right, having a clear background for the self-tape. And I would put so much effort into the self-tape. And I would do 3 or 4 different versions of it. And at the end, I wouldn't submit it because I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
And I did it again and again and again and again and again. And then I would see other people that I knew get the gig and I remember auditioning for it, and I was just like, it's something that we all do, and it's very prevalent now. I think it's a social media thing as well. 100%. But we are our worst, as creatives, we're our own worst enemy, and we get in our own way so much.
Yeah, and comparing yourself to other people and
comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. There's a reason that that's a saying. Comparison is the thief of joy.
And that's why collaboration is the opposite. Collaboration is the opposite.
I saw a brilliant artwork piece. It was set up into different comic book strip segments, and it was fantastic. It was literally somebody walking. It was somebody looking. I think it was somebody driving. Was it? Yeah, it was like somebody driving like a really basic car. It was somebody driving a really basic car. Mm-hmm. And then it was him with a speech bubble above his head. He was thinking, and he was looking at somebody driving a really fancy car. And he was like, oh, I really wish I had that car. And then the guy next to him looking at the guy in the car was cycling a bike. He's like, I really wish I had a car. Mm-hmm. And then the guy before that was walking, saw the guy on the bike. I wish I had a bike. And then there's a guy in a window in a wheelchair looking at the guy walking saying, I really wish that was me. And it's this comparison that gets into your head and under your skin. And it makes, you have to be grateful for what you have. You have to be grateful for what you have, because not to get into the political side of things, but when you look at the world, the world right now is on fire, and it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
If you wake up every morning thinking, oh, another shit day, can't believe that happened yesterday, this is going to go wrong today, I can feel it. That's exactly what's going to happen. You've already made up your mind how your day is going to go. And you're inviting all it. You're only going to see the negative in everything. Yeah. So we are incredibly lucky. And Brenna just said there how lucky. Yeah, we are blessed getting to do what we do.
Brenna is a perfect example. So like we said, whereas comparison is a thief, collaboration is what fills my bucket. And Brenna... Yeah. And there are a couple of us girls who do this, and we support each other, and we're always there for each other. And Erin does cartwheels in my comments. And, it just makes it so much easier. It makes it all worth it. And it's already fun. But that part where, you don't have to worry about whether or not these people are going to have your back makes it 10 times more fun. That's right, girl. We do.
Yeah, we straighten each other's crowns. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Like,
it.
so one of the things that obviously, no matter what field you're in, whether you're in a, if you're in the acting field, musicians, whatever, comedy, there's drama everywhere, and it usually comes from the people that aren't either putting in as much effort, or they aren't, they're not working as hard as someone else. You'll never usually get shit from someone who's working harder than you.
Yep.
The people that will knock other people are the ones that aren't doing the same amount of work. They're not putting the work in.
They don't think they have. They don't think they should have to.
Yeah, exactly. They believe that it should be handed to them on a silver platter, and they shouldn't have to work for it. It's like, it's like when you see other people that were, like, maybe they started after you or something like that, and then you see them climbing and growing and, making. There's a reason they are, and you can't look at them and say, oh, why are they getting it and I'm not getting it? Nobody's. We're all running the same race, but it's different pace. When it'll happen when it happens. Just put the work in.
Yeah.
And
there's room for everyone. There's
exactly.
You just have to get there. And I saw your video that you posted today, basically just saying, hey, I'm here. I want to do your book, and like,
oh yeah,
that's great. I mean, like, that's all you really need to do,
Yeah, the problem is I'm trying to put myself out there that little bit more, simply because as far as the social media stuff goes, exposure wise, I've been living under a rock. I'm busy and I'll be doing my work. I'll be walking away in my booth, by my Joe Lonesome, and then I just ignore the social media thing. And it's only when I realize that I start creating content and I start getting the interaction and people sharing it and people reaching out to me. Oh, I've this duet coming up and I've an Irish MMC I'd love to hear, and it's because I'm putting myself out there into that universe to make myself seen, As I said, go get it.
Could you make it without ever doing it? Yeah. I mean, you're doing that.
The thing is, right, if you get a couple of return clients, the same authors like to book you again and again, yeah, absolutely. You can build a career out of it. But with the space changes so fast. The space changes a lot. I mean, look at AI. AI is just, you can't scroll now. Every second or third video is this AI slop. It's crap. And it's everywhere. And the thing with AI is, it doesn't belong in the creative space anywhere, because people ask me stuff like, exactly. People ask me stuff like, are you worried about AI taking your job? Are you worried about, and I say, well, here's the reason I'm not. Because when you think about it, if somebody puts a prompt in to create a voiceover for whatever, and not only does it sound awful, there's no emotion to it, there's no up and downs, the AI is only pulling from an average of thousands of narrators on the internet. Right. It cannot think, it can't emote, and that's one reason I don't think it'll actually replace us. But the main reason is because if people started using AI for their books instead of hiring narrators, not only will it sound awful, the material, they won't connect to the material, and you'll hear it immediately. But all of that other stuff, all of your events, your villains and vixens, all of your rare, all of your events, gone. Teas and tropes, they'll just disappear. They're gone. Yeah. Because the AI didn't just replace the narrator. The AI replaced the narrator. It replaced the production company, your engineers, your producers, your vendors.
Your artists.
Everyone's gone.
Yeah, everyone.
Your artists. No one is going to queue up for an event to meet the AI that voiced this book.
Yep. I agree.
Here's the robot that voiced my series. Yeah, congratulations. You know what I mean?
Great job.
We're human, and we seek connection.
That's right, Aaron. Your content creators, you tell them, yeah.
Your content, yes, exactly. Your content creators. Now, here's the thing, right? People go on about AI and everything else. It replaces the entire feel of the book. Yeah, as Psycho just said, exactly. It replaces the entire feel of the book.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, I have to agree to a certain extent. The only thing, in my opinion, AI is good or useful for is research. And the reason I say that is because if you need to, like, if you're a doctor and you need to get a summary of, the fact that you can pull information together into a nice, neat summary in seconds, as a doctor, like as a physician, being able to pull together symptoms and rare cases that were written about in articles in universities 10 years ago, being able to pull that together to do
100%.
admin stuff, or to make your job easier.
Yeah. As long as you don't let it do your job for you, that's when you get in trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as you're not fucking, as long as you're not sitting on your phone and you're doing a cancer screening or something like that.
Well, Mr. West, the phone says you have cancer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, according to my AI, it says you have cancer. You know what I mean? The AI should be used for, like, literally just pulling information together to make your life easier. Because if you, back when, before we had phones, when we're on the road trying to find somewhere, we used to take out these fucking maps. We used to take out these big ass maps, and we'd be like, we're just like, and we'd be like following it with our finger to be like, am I on this road or am I on this road? Like
100%.
Like, advancements in technology have made our lives far easier in every way possible. Mm-hmm. And that's the best thing. Like, medicine alone is, we've had phenomenal advancements. There's scientists in Japan and the Netherlands that are regrowing teeth. Mm. Like, it just, the level of, a guy used, I read a story about a week ago, I can't remember where he was from. I think he might have been a Belgian. His dog had cancer. He had a staffy. He had a staffy. Mm-hmm. And, the dog had cancer. He fed his dog's DNA, his entire medical history, into an AI again and again and again. The AI was able to use that info to generate a vaccine, and his dog is now cancer-free.
Shut up.
The AI was simply able to use every single bit of medical information out there, as well as the specific info you gave it, and a DNA strand directly from your dog. Right. And it was able to put together a vaccine to cure the dog completely. That is what AI should be used for.
Right. And what you do in those situations, if you do it with good intentions, what you do in those situations is you remove the human interest part of it. You remove the money. You remove the emotion. You remove the competition. You remove all of the things that keep innovation from happening. And you just let the data talk. And that's how you get stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think the problem, I mean, obviously, what it's costing us, as far as AI data centers got, like the stuff it's costing us,
terrible.
Like the energy, the water, everything, it's insane.
It's bad.
But as long as it can progress and be used for the right reasons in the right way, advancing medical research and everything like that, being able to like cure a dog of cancer when your vet was, not able to do a thing. Yeah. Rather than your best friend, rather than your best pal, like I'm an animal, big animal lover, always have been. I mean, so I have a cat and a dog. Love my dog to pieces. He's really cuddly. He would lie on me all night if he could, as long as I'm scratching his ears. My cat, on the other hand, they're independent. My cat's a bit of a dick, but I still love him. I still feed him. I make I make sure he's safe and everything else.
Yeah.
But the problem with the AI is, literally, as Erin said below, the environmental impacts are catastrophic.
Awful. Yeah, there's definitely a balance that needs to be found. I think the balance is where you get into generative versus just informative, research assistance. Those are two different things. And the generative is what really does cause the most environmental impact, the most issues for artists.
Because it's generating content out of nothing, whether like art and music and everything, and it's using GPUs, so it's using your graphics card and machines and everything in these large data centers that require constant cooling. And it's insane. It's insane. Now the thing is, what I will say, excuse me. Sorry. What I will say is, I have a friend of mine that's coming over from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she's wanted to be over. She's wanted to visit Ireland forever, And, you know, we know each other a couple of years now. I met her through the Book Talk space. I've worked on one or two podcast episodes with her. She's a writer, and our new book is coming out called Capillary, and I'm actually voicing in that book with her in duet style. This one is going to be full cast, but it's also going to be, it's music, it's sound effects, it's a full experience. So I'm excited for it. But Kim is now actually coming over. Kim is actually coming over now in May. So she'd like landing here in the Tour de May. And we're hitting the road. And I actually did, so one of the softwares I use is called Perplexity, and I use it for information gathering.
I'm sorry. Hold on just a minute. Because the AI is telling us that we're debating AI's impact on creative work versus potential for medical advances. I wonder if AI's mad at us because we're debating AI.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just gonna shut us down now. Be like, nope, you're not talking shit about us.
I had to throw that out there. You continue, sir. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm also laughing at Amber. Amber is like, I should have known this would turn philosophical. Sorry, Amber. I am who I am. I don't apologize for it.
Are you kidding me? I love this. This is great. No, this is great.
See, so Kim is coming over, and one of the first things I did, because I simply don't have the time in order to pull the info, but I literally fed it. I gave it like one or two sentences of, I have a friend coming over to visit Ireland. We're planning a road trip for 7 days. These are the locations that we want to hit. Yeah. This is the budget, and these are the places that we definitely want to see in that time. And basically give me an itinerary for these dates, hit all of these places, and this is the budget, stay within this budget or whatever. Yeah. I'd be driving my own car. So I fed it info like, I won't be needing a car, won't be needing to rent a car, I'll be driving my own, blah, blah, blah. So I fed it a couple of sentences of this info, and immediately it did an entire table from the dates every single day, and it filled each day with activity, and I got it to include accommodation options in each location as well.
That's cool.
That's what I use AI for, because it simply gives me information quicker. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But it just does not belong. It just does not belong anywhere near the creative space whatsoever. That period. It just doesn't.
I agree.
It doesn't at all.
Yeah. So. I agree. I could go on about that for a long time.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk to you a little bit about your recording process. So how do you prep for your audiobooks? Like, do you read the whole book? Are you a skimmer? Do you highlight? Where do you fall in that?
So, well, I tend to read the first, I'd say quarter, maybe a little less than the first quarter. I prep using AI. No, I promise you that does not happen.
Aaron.
And AI would only get it fucking wrong as well.
Right, exactly.
It's like, what, you wanted to shred all evidence of this book from the internet? It's like, no.
Abort.
It's like, please stop. There is a thing here that AI, we're going to get shut down, Aaron. We're going to get shut down if we keep bashing AI right now. So as far as preparation goes for me, I usually read the first kind of quarter, or maybe a little less than the quarter of the book, and then I start recording. And as I start recording then, and I finish a session, if I start to catch up on the first quarter, then that night when I'm inside at my, like, when I'm sitting, so I do all my admin inside the house. I have another desk, I have another setup essentially. And when I'm in there, and whether I'm watching like a TV episode or something, or I'm gaming or something like that, I'll take some time out. And I'll continue reading. So my iPad I'll leave in the house, and then I just leave it on my desk, and I have the script on it. So I'll continue reading on. And then essentially, if there's a particular scene that I feel like needs to be delivered in a certain way, or I feel like it's a pivotal scene in the book, I'll highlight and underline, and I'll do a bunch of stuff to it. I'll put cliff notes in order to understand how I'm going to deliver this specific one when I do arrive to it. But that's generally how I do most books. Novellas are even easier because you can read them straight through. Like the novella I have, the novella I'm starting now in the next 2 or 3 days, I'm just going to read that. Like, I've already read the first 8-10 pages of it, so I'm just going to read the entire thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll crack away. Like, I'll power straight through that then, because it's short,
Yeah, that's great. So when you do decide to take on a project, what are some of the things that draw you in? You said you said you really like romance, but like, are there certain tropes or types of stories that you really enjoy?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's a couple of authors and stuff like that I love, but like as far as like tropes and stuff like that, uh, we love a good enemies to lovers.
We
Um,
do.
we love an enemies to lovers and a slow burn. Like if
Yeah.
you give me a slow burn enemies to lovers, and I mean they fucking hate each other in the beginning, and there's so much friction and everything else, and it slowly progresses and generates into it blossoms into this fantastic
Mhm.
partnership in which they have each other's back, and it started from them hating each other. So with a lot of that kind of hate comes passion, and then after they kind of, in some cases they decide that they've more in common than they first realized, and the
Mhm.
wall starts to come down, and they start to be a little bit more vulnerable and open with the other person, and then it develops and blossoms into this great relationship because it started with this burning hatred for each other. There was a passion that was there, in the beginning. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like hate
Amber.
friction becomes other. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hate
Right,
friction
Amber, you get
becomes
it.
other friction.
I feel
Um,
like everyone here
exactly. Yeah.
knows about a good enemies to lovers. Yeah. Yeah, so I
Yeah, I
love
mean, like,
that.
listen. The truth is, if you're, in your book, you want as the book progresses, you want your main MC. You want him to be breaking headboards, not hearts. You know what I mean? You want him to be, yeah, exactly. You want him to be rattling headboards. So as long once you kind of start off and just you can see that passion in the beginning that they really hate each other, but there's a passion there, and then
Yeah.
it gets to blossom into a fantastic partnership later on in the story, and even better if that happens in the first book and it carries through other series to the rest of the series. It's great. Excuse me.
You made me a gasp. It's
Yeah.
not easy to
How,
make me a
how dare
gasp. Let me
you?
tell you. How dare
How
you,
dare
sir?
you, good sir?
Mm.
I do apologize.
No, you don't. No, you
Sometimes
don't.
I
You're a
get a bit
liar.
sometimes I get a bit carried away with myself. Sorry. Um. Yeah, I
So
apologize.
I think this is a great question for you because you are a thinker. So, what advice would you give to authors in order to get the most out of their voice actors, to get the most out of their narrators when they are, hiring them for their books?
Okay. Well, the one thing I love to do, and I don't see it an awful lot. It's quite rare in the audiobook space. It's quite common in like Camrook and everything else. You have, as you would know, a table read. It's
Hmm.
when a new episode of something comes out or a film, and the cast all sit around and they do a table read.
Right.
It gives people a taste of the script, how it's going to be delivered, how the story is going to flow, how the characters are going to interact with each other. I love the idea that if we were given 2 days to do a table read before either narrator started to record, because what it'll do is it'll build chemistry between the
Yeah.
narrators in the
Yeah.
beginning before you record anything. And what it does for an author as well, you'll be able to know immediately if there's no spark between the narrators.
Mm.
You'll immediately spot it, because one narrator will be given it everything they've got. They'll be super emotional, they'll be animated, and then you'll have another narrator that's kind of very laid back, very calm, and kind
Yeah.
of
Different
docile.
style. Yeah.
And exactly, there's nothing wrong with the different styles.
No.
But if you do the table read and you don't feel that kind of relationship, that bounce back and forth with them,
Yeah.
then it means your final product could end up stale or dry that way.
Right.
So yeah, not a whole book, obviously. Yes, sorry, Tiffany. Yeah,
Yeah, like
no,
an excerpt.
no, not
Yeah.
a whole book. Jesus, we don't have time to do that. No, a table read. You take a small segment, a small excerpt from a book, maybe an important pivotal scene, like an emotional scene,
Mhm.
and especially if the two narrators have a collaboration over a Discord call by themselves first, and then do the table read for the author. That's
Yeah.
a great way to
Yeah.
develop a partnership between narrators and connection between the characters that they're doing.
Yeah.
I'd love to see stuff like that more. I'd love to see a table read for 2 hours become the norm,
Yeah.
because you'll get a feel for it. You'll get a
Yeah.
feel for how it's gonna sound, how the book is gonna be, the final product.
Yeah. I mean, collaboration always makes things better. I mean, we've we've kind of touched
100%.
on that. I mean, it's only going
Yeah,
to make things more cohesive. It's only going to make things
yeah,
better. And yeah, so I mean, if you can do that, that would be great. Yeah, like exactly like Tiffany said. It's like you have to walk that line between efficiency and and time and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I think if you could,
yeah, of
if
course, yeah.
if in the end, it's only going to hopefully make your profit better, make your title better, make your book better. So hopefully,
Yeah.
it's
I
worth
mean,
it.
thankfully, I've developed a personal relationship not only with every author that I've worked with, but as well every narrator that I've worked with. I've developed a personal relationship with them. They all have my phone number. They all have my personal socials and stuff like that outside of DBUS. And I speak to them. I speak to most of them on the daily. Like I spend time in Discord with some of them and everything. And one of the things is the reason that kind of relationship develops is because it kind of goes back to what I said about my friend Dom when he wanted to start acting. I said, turn up on time, be easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So when you partner with these authors and these narrators, if you can, as long as you can be accommodating, like for example, if your schedule is open and then your other narrator that you have to do this book with, all of a sudden their schedule is jammed, they're already stressed. Like, be as accommodating as you can. You know what I mean? Move it. If they have a gap in 2 weeks, move it to 2 weeks time. Clear it with the author, and as long as that's the efficiency side of it, you will get return work time and time again from narrators and authors if you are easy to work with and you accommodate trouble with, because life happens. You know what I mean? Life happens. You get family emergencies, you get financial problems, accidents. These things happen, and the schedule gets, the audiobook stuff, that gets pushed back. As long as you are open and flexible, and they will come back to you each and every time because they know you're reliable, you're easygoing, and you don't cause any drama or fuss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I collaborate with, whenever I do, regardless of whether it's a duel or a duet, one of the first things I do is I lay down. So, for example, one of the series is Taylor Aston White's Guardian series. There's 7. I've delivered 7 of those books so far, and I actually only delivered one a couple of weeks ago, I think. The thing with that series is, I know all of those characters like the back of my hand. I know that world, But when that series started, one of the first things I did, because there was so many characters in it, and they all had to be given voices, and they all have to sound different because they talk to each other in scenes. The first thing I do with any book with multiple characters, I create a folder. I create a sample folder of literally I record one large file, 5 to 7 seconds of every single character voice with their name at the beginning. So like Lucifer from Guardians, I'll say something like Lucifer, and then I'll leave a gap, and it'll just be like, well, of course fucking not. I'm never invited anywhere. And you copy and paste that for every single character into separate files for reference, upload it straight to the cloud, and you link your co-narrator immediately before you've even done anything. Because now they know the voices you've given them, and they have something to go by, and they do the same with you.
I think I have heard a couple of people that have done talked to a couple of people who have done that, where they'll send each other, kind of snippets back 100%. And forth. I think that's a great idea.
It's the best way to ensure you're on the same page with character voices, because the worst thing you can do is, and it has happened in the past, not with me, but I've had situations with people where their narrator was so busy they didn't really collaborate, and then all of a sudden you're listening to the book and the same character voiced by 2 people in separate chapters, because one's the FMC and one's the MMC POV, and they don't even sound remotely the same. They have different accent and everything, and it's because there was no communication to begin with.
Yeah, so super important, in a dual recording, where you've got different point of view chapters and you're both doing the same characters. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think about it from that perspective, but yeah. So, is there anything that you would like to do more of? Something that you haven't gotten the chance to do a lot that you would love to really sink your teeth into?
Ooh. Well, I'm a massive, I'm a nerd. I love fantasy, everything. I have watched I can't. I've Lord of the Rings and all countless times. You know what I mean? I can't get
Mhm.
enough of it.
Mhm.
I love the fantasy world and like the world building, just the creative freedom that you have with fantasy. You know, you're talking like magic. You've got witches, werewolves, dragons, fucking vampires. I am all over that stuff. I can't
How
get
did I
enough of that.
know that? I just had a feeling you
Oh
were going to say
man.
fantasy.
E- there's for the like truth be told, for the right book, if an author came to me, if there was an author I was a fan of, for example, like I actually brought it on a side note. I actually brought my TBR purposely to show. Now I don't know if my camera would probably be backwards, but like this is my current TBR, and they've been on the shelf for God knows how long. So we
Yeah,
have,
I get that.
yeah. So a good friend of mine actually gave me this at V and V. Amber was there as well. Amber in the chat was there as well. It's probably backwards. It's most likely backwards. But this is it's Beneath a Desert Moon. This is S.R. Hawkins, very good friend of mine. She was my booth neighbor. She was my booth neighbor at V and V. She's an artist. She's a
So
phenomenal cover artist
you
as
were
well.
at Villains and Vixens
Yes, I
in
was.
Dallas?
Yeah, in September.
I
Don't
was
tell me you
there.
were there.
I was there.
No way.
Yes.
How did we? No.
That's crazy.
Wow.
You said that while ago. You
That's
said that while ago, and I
insane.
was like, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah. So V and V was the first big
Me
audiobook
too.
event that I went to, and like what an event to start on! Like
So
what an
great.
event to start on!
So well done.
Incredible.
So well
Like
done.
the organisers themselves, I remember because I I didn't know anything about V and V. I didn't know anything about like all of these conventions. I hadn't even looked into them.
No.
And then I I worked with Lily Drake on some of the books from the original Guardian series early on.
I got that one.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
so I worked with Lily Drake on those, and Lily's fantastic.
I love
And
her. She's so
she
great.
kind of like we speak on the daily, you know, and like we're literally we're the type that we send when we're speaking to each other, like WhatsApp or whatever. Like you're talking 8 and 10 minute voice notes to each other. That's just that's how we are, and we're talking about our day. We're talking about what title, if we're working on a title, how busy we are. And one of the things with Lily is when we were working together, we had just delivered the second or third title or something, and she reached out to me. She was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, have you considered any events in the States?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would consider going. I'd love to once I get to that stage where people know my work." And she mentioned V and V. She's like, "There's one in Texas. I'm considering going, and if it's up your street, if you can afford it and everything else, it'd be great to see you there, and you would do well." So I looked into it, and then next of all, I got a message. I think I got a DM on Instagram from the organizer, Ash. And it was just like, "Hi, DB, Lily sent me your information. I hope you don't mind. She mentioned that you were looking to attend some events in in stateside, and we have one called Villains and Vixens. Here's all the info. Here's the website." And you were like, "Would you be interested? We'd love to have you." And like immediately, I was like, "Yes!" Like I couldn't text
Wow.
back quick enough. I was immediately just like, "Yes, so much yes." And she was like, "We'd love to have you. It'd be great. This is all the details. You have your own table. You can share a table if you want." And then I spent the next, I think I spent the next 6 months, I want to say, because I went to Dallas. I went to Austin and Dallas after it. So I did the 2 days at V&V. I think I landed either 2 days previous to the event or one day previous, and then I left after the event. But I went to Austin and Dallas, and yeah, Amber told me to check out Waffle House, and I never got a chance. I did, however, get like IHOP, Chick-fil-A. I went to in Dallas. I went to Red River Cowboy as well. Oh,
Mhm.
one of the things I wanted to do before, it was a bucket list item. I said, "Get me to a blues or a cowboy bar where everybody's like line dancing and shit." It's like, "Get me to one of those bars, please." And then purely by chance, right? Purely by chance, I ran into a girl. A girl came up to my table and asked me to sign a book for her. And her name was Louisa. And she's a Brazilian girl. She was so cool, very down to earth, humble girl. And I mentioned to her in conversation that I was going to Dallas afterwards, and she was like, "I'm from Dallas," and she was like, "I'm from Dallas. I'm going back there after." She was like, "Here," and she like gave me her Instagram. She's like, "When you land in Dallas, tell me where you're staying, and we can go hang out. I'll show you around." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So
Yeah.
I landed, and like I
Yeah.
texted her the place. Yeah, I texted her the place I was staying. And then, like, she goes, "How's Thursday night?" And I was like, "Yeah," because she knew I had mentioned I wanted to go to a cowboy bar. She knew, she had remembered. She picked me up in her car on Thursday, and we went, and she brought me out to Red River Cowboy.
Thursday's a
And
great night for cowboy bars. That's college night.
oh man, I went out and I couldn't. I was in awe. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to leave. I was like, right, need to find myself an American wife so I can stay. I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. This is it. This is going to be my weekly spot. Red River Cowboy. I'm
That's
living
awesome.
in Dallas now. Amazing, and it's one of the things. It just V&V was fantastic, and I really can't wait.
It really
Culture
was.
Shock. And I really can't wait to go back to more events. If I could prioritize them, that I would spend less time in my booth and more time in the States meeting people. You know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, these have been
I
gathering.
am-
These have been fucking gathering dust.
I can't believe that we were both there. That's so funny. That's
That's insane.
crazy.
That's actually
crazy.
insane.
I mean, yeah, because that was my first. That was my first big event too, and so like I didn't know what to expect, and I was by myself. I only live like 2 hours from Dallas, so I just drove up there. I was like, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, I was by myself, and it was so fun, and everyone was so nice, and just giving away things and talking, and it was so crazy. It was such a great event. It was so good, and I met one of my really good friends who is a narrator, Alexis Page, there, and we had talked before, and I met her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been really good friends, and then I actually got to meet and talk to her there that day, and so that was such a just an amazing trip. Well, now I know you were there. Alexis was there. Brandon Francis was there.
Oh yeah, I met Brandon as well. Yeah,
and Tyler Griffin was there, and I just did a thing with Tyler not too long ago too. So it's like,
yeah, I've worked with Tyler.
So funny because that whole event was just really was kind of just made me start thinking about doing this kind of stuff, because I loved it. Really I just fell in love with everybody in the community.
But you saw the room for it, like you saw the space there that you could take up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, the space is so incredible and welcoming. Like everybody is just open arms. They welcome you in and they help you in any way they can. Like obviously, you get the odd bit of drama every now and again, but 9 times out of 10, it's the same people.
Yeah,
it's the same people over and over. But I mean, like you mentioned Tyler. Excuse me, you mentioned Tyler, and I think I was wandering. I was actually wandering, and I didn't even know he was there. Like I hadn't met him yet. And I was like wandering, and then next of all, like this arm comes out, like this hand comes onto my shoulder, and he went, DB West. I went, and two of us, like the Spider-Man meme, like two of us just went, he goes, DB West, and I literally went, Tyler Griffin, and straight away, two of us just fucking embraced him, like, how are you, man?
He's such a nice guy.
One of the things was like immediately we were just like, how are you, man? Like we were hugging and everything, and so we had worked kind of intermittently on one of Deborah Garland's. So Deborah Garland has an Astoria Royals series.
I got that too.
I did. Oh yeah, I did our Sinful Vows book, and it fucking did it. It did incredibly well. It was one of our big. It was actually, I think it was our biggest seller. She had sent me a message being like, "It's my biggest seller," and I was like replying back. I was like, "What, Sinful Vows?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's my biggest seller." But I had a great time. I worked with Lexi. I work with Lexi Evans, and she there's an entire circle around Deborah Garland. You have like Lexi Evans and Logan and Nair and Tyler Griffin, and there's so many of them in that series. And for me to come in and do a standalone book when all of these people existed in this universe already, not only was I honored because I got on with Deborah so well, she's phenomenal. But when I bumped into Tyler, he was like, swung his arms around. He was like, "How are you?" And he was like, "Man, we've worked together. Like, I have spoken in his books. I've made cameos in his books, and he's made cameos in my books. And he's just such a cool dude. Like,
So
I wish I
nice.
was half as cool as him, and half as sweet as him.
And so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
So funny. And he brought me over. My Irish humor kind of took over. He brought me over to the table. He was like sharing a table with Brandon Francis. And
They were a pair, let me tell you.
Yeah. 100%. Great pairing. And he introduced me. He introduced me to Brandon, and he was like, "Brandon, this is DB West." He's Irish, you know, and he was like doing this thing of like, he's Irish because there's so many Irish accents in the space, and he was like, he's actually Irish, you know.
He's actually Irish.
He's actually Irish. But he fucking Brandon shook my hand, and I was like, "Oh, how you doing?" And then Tyler says to me, "Oh, you going to one of the panels? We have he's like, Brandon's on one of the panels or something like that." And I said, "Oh, you're on one of the panels? Is it Q&A?" He was like, "Yeah, we're actually doing a table read." This was the
the nighttime thing, the pajama party.
Yeah, the pajama party, yeah. And he was like, he shook my hand. He was like, "Yeah, no, we have a table read."
Freaking me out that you were there. That's just crazy. Go ahead. Sorry.
He says to me, yeah, we have a table read. I'm going to be narrating on the table read. And my Irish humor kicked in, and I went, "Oh, Lord help us all." And his face dropped, and he went, "Oh, wow." And he goes, he's like, "That cut me deep." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm only messing." I was like, "I'm just kidding. That's just my humor. I'm so sorry." Like, I had met this man 20 seconds ago, and I just destroyed his entire fucking ego altogether. He was like a little shell, and I was like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "Oh no, it's just." He was like, "Oh, I thought you were serious." I was like, "No, not at all." I said, if I'm giving you shit, it means I like you.
Right? Exactly.
It means I like you. If I roast you, it means we're getting on just fine, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. If I'm roasting you, we're going to be best friends.
I cannot believe you were there.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. That's wild.
It's wild, yeah. Like, there's a couple in the chat right now that I met at V&V. That's how I know them. That's how we follow each other. Like, Amber and everything. Like, I
wish I'd have met you. That's crazy.
But listen, it won't be my last event. I have looked into the last quarter of the last quarter in terms of events. I would love to like all your Sinners and Stardust, all these. I would really like to attend those ones, just to kind of get a lay of the land and find out which ones are really up my street, which ones I love the most, you know. And I've heard not only the big events, but I heard they do like these little book fairs as well. Mm-hmm. I've literally, one of the things Lily said to me, first of all, like, she said she went to a book fair, I think shortly after V&V, and she said how much she loved it. And she was like, it was really just kind of, it was like tight knit. It wasn't so much chaos, you know.
Dallas does these little book fairs, like once a month. They're like, boozy book fairs, basically, where you just like walk around and like shop at people's like tables and just drink and, and just talk to book people.
Yeah,
and it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things is if I'm doing it again, like if I'm going over the States to attend any events, which, by the way, any organisers, you are welcome to invite me to. Thank you.
Oh, trust me, I will be talking to some people.
She's like, "You need to get this one
I
on
missed it. I'm not missing it again.
It's like, I missed him in Dallas. I'm not doing it again.
Not again.
One of the things I love, and it's my next plan if I do go, I'm not just going to be going to one event. I'm going to try and get a month block, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks if I can. And I'm going to schedule it so it's like, there's multiple events in that block, you know what I mean? It's are like in close proximity to each other, a couple of hours from each other, you know?
Yeah.
If I can do that, that will give me the most kind of, because you got to remember, it'll give me the most bang for buck. Because
you got a long, that's a journey.
I'm spending fucking $800 and $900 on flights to get there. So I have to, I flew to V&V and it cost me like $850 return, something like that. And then I spent like $4,000, I think, over the space of like 10 days. Yeah, so
it's crazy.
Somehow I managed to save that money in like 5-6 months or something. I don't know. Like when I originally found out I was going to V&V, I'd paid all the invoices and everything. I somehow managed in like 6 months to get 4,500 behind me, and that was like after the flights and all were paid and everything else. That was what I like to call "fuck you" money. that was spending money. I can do what I want with this.
Throw
money.
it out.
Just literally, throw it. Out. That was like we even went to like 6th Street in Austin, and we just did like bar hopping. We were going to all these bars and places.
Yeah,
amazing.
You hit the good stuff. Yeah. So Mia says, and I agree. Just she just fly in this weekend. We have an event in Dallas. It's Kink and Ink. Just come on down, and we'll all hang out.
I'll get right on that,
and it'll be a great time.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be going to that, and that's this weekend, I probably need to leave now. So we'll just end the live, and I'll go hop on a plane.
I mean, yeah. If that's what you're going to do, that's fine. I'm just kidding.
You just like 20 minutes later, all of a sudden you've got like
this
this knock on your door.
If it's just an excuse to get off this live, then no, sir. But if you're actually going to go get off,
Can you imagine if it was like the plot twist like this? I'm not even in a booth. I'm literally I'm standing outside your fucking door. Just like you see me open this door, and then like you hear a knock on your door, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, I like surprise.
Yeah, it's like surprise. Yeah. What you don't know is
like you did ask. You asked me to be here. Your wish. I am here. Your wish is not coming.
Oh,
it's a green screen, Amber. Yeah,
yes.
You have it. Yeah, this is none of this. That's why I haven't touched anything.
Twist, he's not really Irish.
I'm just really good at accents.
Denver.
Well, actually, I'm actually from Denver. I happen to be quite good at accents for the most part. Most people actually hire me to do an Irish accent, so I'm not too bad.
I mean, you're pretty good at it.
Quite good at it.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
Quite good at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty good. I mean, it could use a little work, but it's pretty good.